I think in today's world, often we're told how we should be and what we should do. And we can sometimes try to fit in with everybody else, where that authentic presence is being true to yourself. Who are you really? What do you like? How do you want to show up? What do you want to wear? What do you want to say to a certain extent? It's actually, you're following what is right for you and not necessarily following the crowd. If you love dinosaurs, say you love dinosaurs, and you'll find these other people will come in and go, wow, I love dinosaurs as well. So, yeah, I think it takes up a lot less energy to really be yourself as well. And we've all got so many gifts to give. So if you can't show who you truly are, no one knows who you really are, and they can't actually find out how amazing you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today. And I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. And today's guest is someone who proves that something super small can actually make a huge difference. I mean, think about it. When someone smiles at you, it can totally just change your day, right? Well, today's guest took that simple idea of smiling and turned it into a mission to help people feel stronger, more confident, and more connected. So please welcome the one, the only, the amazing Sally Pymer.
Thank you so much for having me here, Tiberius. I'm excited to be here and spread some smiles. So it's great. Thank you.
Well, no problem. So, Sally, for kids who've never heard of what you do, what exactly does a chief smile provider do?
Well, it sounds very interesting, Tiberius, but I actually go around speaking to audiences, speaking to people about the power of a smile and how amazing a smile can be in connecting people and just making people feel good. I also write columns for a paper, go on podcasts like with you, and I also just go to events where I have smile walls where I just get people to put little smiles up on the wall. So it's just trying to spread smiles as far and as wide as possible around the world. It's heaps of fun.
All right. Well, were you always someone who smiled a lot growing up, or was that something that you had to learn over time?
I think it was something I always had when I was growing up, because people used to mention how I was always the smiley person and I always seemed happy. And it was interesting that whenever I'd walk down a street and meet strangers, they would be the ones that would ask me for advice on where to go. So I think that smile really was that connector that I had right from birth, that people just picked up on it and got that great connection. So I don't think I had to learn it. And because babies instinctively smile, I think we're all born with it. It's just a matter of keeping it going.
Well, you've had some really big challenges in your life. Can you tell us a little about how, growing up with your brother?
Yeah, so I had a brother who had disabilities, he was 5 years older than me. So during that time, I spent a lot of time with my dad, outdoors, and with my grandparents. And so I think I also had a younger sister. And my brother went to live in a nursing home at the age of 7. But I think I spent a lot of time at the hospital, but I also realized that everybody has amazing abilities and everybody can smile. So, I guess my childhood wasn't quite as normal, being aware that not everyone has abilities. But yeah, it really made me aware of the different abilities people have, and that we focus on what we can do rather than what we can't do.
All right. Well, you were diagnosed with a chronic lung disease at 19. What was that life like for you?
That was actually really, really quite hard, because at the age of 19, when you should be living life and you're out there having fun with your friends, and to be told that you don't have a proper lung function and you might possibly have emphysema by the time you're 40, it was actually quite a lot for a 19-year-old to deal with, because I was told, don't go out with your friends if there's going to be anyone smoking, and, you know, be careful about your health. You need to exercise. You need to do a lot of things. So it actually had a huge impact in me being aware of enjoying the small things in life, and I guess doing the things that you want to do now, not knowing what the future is. But because I probably lived with it all my life, I didn't know any difference. So it didn't stop me doing anything. Just I kept my positive attitude, which was quite good. But yeah, hard to deal with when you're 19 and you think you've got many years ahead of you.
All right, well, at age 40, you had to relearn how to speak. That sounds incredibly hard to do. So how'd you stay positive?
I guess I just focused on the fact that I knew I had been able to speak before, and I could communicate as best as I could. And I just had confidence that I would be okay no matter what happened. I could always write. If I needed to get my point across, I knew that I had great skills, and I knew that I could get them across somehow by writing or using my hands. But over time, my voice did come back, and it was great. I still have to concentrate quite a lot when I speak sometimes. But yeah, it was a learning experience, I guess, for me to focus, like I said, on what you can do rather than what you can't do. And yeah, I think I'm naturally someone who focuses on the positives. So that really helped. That really helped.
Well, was there ever a moment where you just felt like giving up?
I think there have been times where I've just felt like giving up, because it's like I've had all these things thrown at me. I've got chronic lung disease. I have to learn how to speak again. And then even later on, I became anaphylactic to bees. So that made it hard. But I guess there's also so much more to look forward to in life. So there was times I wanted to, but it was never really an option. There's so many other things to do. So I guess it's just focusing on those things and the great things that you do have in life, which really makes a difference to positivity and keeping going. Definitely. Yes.
All right. So how'd you go from those experiences to helping other people?
I think it's a matter of, I've been through those experiences and I know what it's like. So I have this ability to actually be able to put myself in other people's shoes. So as much as I won't be able to understand anybody else, I know what it feels like to have chronic lung disease. I know what it feels like to have to learn to speak again. So I can, I guess, understand people a little bit and be willing to listen to them and understand where they're coming from. I think it's a bit hard when you haven't had these experiences. You go, get over it, you'll be fine. But I think when you've been through it, you have that level of empathy and understanding. And, you know, I want to be able to help people to feel better about themselves and feel positive as well. So my experience has definitely helped me help others, which has been great.
Well, you talk about how smiling can actually change your brain. How does that work?
Yeah, so when you smile, and even if it's fake, which is really interesting, your face, your brain picks up on that expression of smiling, and it actually releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine, which improves your motivation, and serotonin, which stabilizes your mood, and endorphins to decrease pain and decrease stress. And over time, that literal art of smiling actually rewires your brain to a happier state. So that release of chemicals makes you feel happier at that baseline already. So yeah, the brain's quite amazing how it can release those hormones and actually, yeah, really change your brain, which is so many more reasons to smile, Tiberius. So many reasons.
So can smiling really reduce stress?
Yeah, I think it can, because of those release of those feel good hormones. It actually can release stress. And I also think, you know, if you're smiling at someone else and they're smiling back at you, you feel seen. And so I think that can lower stress as well, because everybody just wants to feel seen and feel valued. So I think just knowing someone sees you can certainly reduce those stress along with those hormones. So yeah, another reason to smile, Tiberius. Who doesn't want? Who doesn't like stress? Yeah,
All right, all right.
fantastic.
Well, do people ever underestimate, like, the power of smiling?
I think people underestimate it quite often because I think often when we're stressed or we're not feeling so good, we look at big things to make us feel better. Like we might look at, oh, we're going to go and buy something new, or we're going to have sugar or eat or something, where really it's something as simple as a smile can actually make you feel a lot better. And I think often people think, how can something so simple be so powerful? When really it can be. It can, yeah, definitely. Definitely sometimes the biggest impacts can be in the smallest moments, which is fantastic, quite fascinating.
So, what's an example of a small gesture that made a big difference in your life?
Well, I said before that I had a brother who had disabilities. Well, actually, when I was 8, he passed away. And that's quite a lot to deal with as an 8-year-old, because like adults are coming around to see your parents, family are coming around, and often people forget about the kids. But I had this really good friend called Peter, and I still remember him coming to my house, and he brought me some beautiful red flowers, and they were just for me. It wasn't for the family. It was just for me, and I felt so seen, and I felt like I was actually special and I mattered. So it was something simple, but it actually really made me feel quite special. And to have an 8-year-old boy bring around an 8-year-old girl flowers is such a kind gesture, and in a time that I really, really needed it the most. Yeah, I really look back at that. And that was over 40 years ago, Tiberius, and I can still remember those red flowers being given to me. It was beautiful.
So, what's one small thing kids can do every day to help someone else?
Oh, look, I think it's no surprise that I'll say smile. So I think because that smile really is that connector and it makes you feel that like you're seen, I think it's just smiling at people. Just smiling at whoever you pass or say hello. Yeah, it really makes people feel warm. And because smiles are contagious, you never know where that smile will go. And yeah, so just that small smile can be so powerful, Tiberius. Definitely. Small
Well,
gesture.
here seems like a good
Amazing.
time to take a quick commercial break and smile. So, let's say another word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut, that's a wrap. Just use that.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we're back here with Sally Pymer, Chief Smile Provider and expert in turning small moments into big change. So, Sally, you've worked in so many different areas. Fitness, counseling, community work. How do they all connect?
I think the common connector there is they're all helping people. So counselling, you're working one-on-one with someone, you're really listening to them and helping them with their problems. Fitness is a bit that one-on-one as well. And yeah, all the roles actually have needed that real listening skill, because if you can't listen to someone, you actually are not able to support them so well. But also in saying that, I think that smile is that connector that allows people to open up and say what's going on and allow you to listen to them. So listening skills, very, very important. And that connection, definitely. Yes.
So, what does authentic presence mean?
I think in today's world, often we're told how we should be and what we should do. And we can sometimes try to fit in with everybody else, where that authentic presence is being true to yourself. Who are you really? What do you like? How do you want to show up? What do you want to wear? What do you want to say to a certain extent? It's actually, you're following what is right for you and not necessarily following the crowd. If you love dinosaurs, say you love dinosaurs, and you'll find these other people will come in and go, wow, I love dinosaurs as well. So yeah, I think it takes up a lot less energy to really be yourself as well. And we've all got so many gifts to give. So if you can't show who you truly are, no one knows who you really are, and they can't actually find out how amazing you are.
So why is being real so important?
I think it can be really exhausting to not be real and to try to be someone that you're not. And I think often that can lead to exhaustion and then mental health. Perhaps mental health is not so good if you can't be real and you can't turn up as yourself. And like I said before, if you're real, people know who you are. They know the amazing gifts you are. You're probably a much happier person and much more content in your life, and you'll attract those similar people in with you. So, you know, I love smiling. I love being outside. So if I can smile and, you know, be out in nature, other people will find me and go, hey, I love that. I love that as well. And so we have this amazing, beautiful connection, and we can enjoy things together rather than going with the crowd. And I don't like movies so much. If I go to the movies because everyone else likes the movies, I'm not happy. Take me outside. But I have to be real for people to know that. Yeah.
Now, you talk about breaking stigma. What is stigma? Stigma is like the ideas that you have of other people. So you could be criticizing someone for having disabilities or having a certain cultural background or their beliefs or who they are. So stigma, breaking down stigma is actually trying to take away those barriers and actually show that we're all more similar than different. And yeah, you probably, you know, I've worked as an alcohol and other drug worker before, and often people using drugs are stigmatized, and that can affect where they go in life and what they do and how they're accepted. And same thing, mental health can go down a little bit, and people can just feel quite disconnected and isolated. So stigma's everywhere, but it can be really quite damaging to a lot of people. Definitely. So why do people need to feel like they belong?
I think it's that happiness, and we're humans by nature want to feel like they belong. They need to feel like they can be in a crowd and feel accepted. And if you don't feel like you belong, it can cause a whole lot of different detrimental effects like loneliness and isolation and the mental health problems, like I said before, and just not feeling able to show your true selves, fitting in with the crowd, doing things you don't like. Yeah.
So how can kids who, you know, are going to a new school help create a sense of belonging at the new school?
If you're a new child, to belong, yeah. So I think it comes back to that smile again, Tiberius. So, you know, you can smile at someone, and I have done that before, and that has opened up connection. Someone smiles back, all of a sudden they say, oh, hello, you've seen me. What do you do? And it can be that doorway to communication, or just say hello. And what do you like doing? Where are you from? Or just ask a question. But a smile is that first step to actually connection and identifying those people that will smile back, who can be your people. Definitely.
Now, see, guys, I've tried this before. Just smiling at a girl won't work. Trust me, I've tried too many times. But won't the girls think that me smiling, saying as I like them, or not? Like how does that work? Because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Well, maybe you're picking the wrong girls, Tiberius, because I'm sure if you smiled at the right ones, they would smile back. They go, yes, Tiberius has smiled at me. I've been waiting for that for so long. There's probably someone out there, Tiberius, waiting for you to do that. Like, why hasn't he chosen me yet?
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I think.
All right. Well, do you think social media makes it harder or easier to connect along with people?
I think it depends on how you're interacting with it. I know that I've met some beautiful, amazing people who live in other countries or other states that I've been able to connect with because I've been myself. And by being myself, I've actually found it's people in my wider network that I'm more connected with. But I also think if you live on a farm or you live in a quite isolated place, it can be good. But if you're using it to post negative comments or, get stuck into people or get stuck into what other people are saying, it's easy for someone to put a negative comment on there and then it escalates and people just keep going in that negative spiral. That's not healthy at all, and that can be quite hard. And I think it can discourage you from typing anything because you're not sure how people are going to react. So there can be both positive and negative connections. It's actually how you use it.
So what makes your talks or workshops different from others?
What I try to do is to put people into the shoes of the story. So I tell a lot of stories and I try to make it that the person listening to it can imagine that is them. So it's almost like I'm talking directly to them so that they're actually feeling the story as well. They're not just listening to it. So I think sometimes like with maths or subjects, you get told, these are the facts. This is the way it is. And you'll need this sometime in life. But if the story feels like you're actually in it, it actually makes a whole lot more sense. And you go, wow, this really makes sense. This is worthy. This is relevant to me. It's not relevant to everybody else. So I don't know about you, Tiberius. You think, I'm learning this stuff at school. I'm never going to use it. How is it relevant to me? Well, I try to avoid that and make all my stories relevant to the person listening to it.
Well, on that note, this is another quick break to pay some bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back here with the amazing Sally Pymer, spreading smiles and changing lives. So, Sally, what is the favorite part of what you do every single day?
Look, I think when you're labeled the chief smile provider, you actually do that. So I love the fact that I'm getting to share positivity. There's nothing really negative about the message I'm trying to put across. And by doing that, I actually feel good. And then I get responses back from people to say, I've got to remember to smile. I've smiled at this person. So a lot of the feedback I get about other people making a difference in the world definitely is one of the best things. Because I'm not one person. I can help others to spread this message as well. It's really great.
All right. Well, earlier in the show, you talked about being real. And now there's one secret on this show that I have always kept for a very long time. So I think it's time that I'm real with you guys. I don't have short hair. I actually have really, really long hair. So From now on, I'm going to be real with you guys and show my super long hair. So, let's continue this, shall we? So, what's the hardest part about your job?
Probably the hardest bit is trying to sell the message that something so simple can be so powerful. Because who wants to buy a smile? Like, everybody can do it. And people always want complicated solutions to simple problems. So how do I sell a smile? And how do I get people to want to pay for me to spread a message about smiling? So that could be quite hard, definitely.
Well, do you think that smiling can be, like, contagious?
Definitely. And science tells us they can be contagious. So if I smile at you, Tiberius, you're going to smile, release those same feel-good chemicals, and then we have this whole world can possibly smile. So definitely. And imagine how communities and towns change by that contagious smile and knowing that that's what you can do. Maybe you could try it at school, see how many people you can get smiling.
Maybe. So, who inspired you when you were younger?
It was my grandparents. So my grandparents were quite generous people. They donated some land to a hospital and also to build a school for people with disabilities. And they just generously helped people in the community, not really expecting anything back in return, but just because that's who they were, and they could see people who needed support and they were willing to do it. And often they did it without people knowing. It was just something they did quietly behind the scenes. So they were beautiful people, definitely.
Well, if you could go back and talk to 15-year-old Sally, what would you say?
Oh, 15-year-old Sally would say, follow your own dreams, not everybody else's, and follow your own journey. Because I think often people will tell you what you should do and what you're good at, and you should do this, and this is what you need to do. But I think it was a matter of, I can achieve my dreams and I can do it. It's a matter of believing in myself as well and following what is right for me and what I love, definitely, rather than what other people think I should do.
All right, well, now the questions get harder.
Oh,
All
great.
right, so what was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
Look, I think one of the biggest mistakes I made probably was following what other people said for me to do. So I had people say I should apply for a job, and I would be great at that, and then I didn't like it. And that happened quite regularly. And it probably changed the confidence in myself for quite a while, that I actually didn't know what I was good at, or I didn't know what I should do and what jobs I should do, because I hated them. So if I'm good at this job and I hate it, well then, oh my goodness, I'm really going to hate a job that I'm not good at. But it also changed me in the fact that I had to take a step back and go, hey, look, take a deep breath. I actually like smiling at people and I like helping people. And it enabled me to find the job that I'm doing now. So don't listen to other people so much. You have to listen to parents, but also be aware of your own abilities and your own strengths, and be willing to go for that, I think, to find that happiness and your true purpose.
All right, okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show, but that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Oh, look, Tiberius, where do I start? Well, I guess I'll go with one that I can tell. So I said I had these amazing grandparents. So one day my grandfather, I was 7, my grandfather took me into a paddock in his manual car. So we had a farm as well. So I'm in this car and we're driving along and it's like, put your foot on the clutch, change gears, change gears, change gears. And the car is flying around in circles. I'm holding on for dear life. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die. All he could do was laugh. He's like, faster, faster, faster. And all the time I'm thinking, I'm 7 years old. I'm not supposed to drive a car until I'm at least 18. So what's he doing? And what happens if I die? And I don't think my parents would be happy with me doing this because I could wreck his car and I might hurt myself. But yeah, my grandfather was amazing. It's such a beautiful, beautiful memory, but something that perhaps 7-year-olds shouldn't
Well, a
do.
manual is a bit hard to learn with, so I would rather, learn with an automatic, but I know how to drive a little bit, but luckily I learned on automatic. Yeah. I didn't learn how to manual. I want to learn how to drive manual, though. That is something that I want to learn.
Yes, well, automatic definitely heaps easier. And a 7-year-old can't even reach the clutch.
Try to change gears.
Change gears and go faster and hold on and don't let my grandpa fall out the door. And
yeah, someone say go faster, really?
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I want to go slower.
It's like, wait, no, slow down.
Exactly. And because I didn't know what I was doing, he was putting the gears up faster. And I'm going, come on. Stop it.
It's like, wait, no, second gear, not six.
Exactly. And I'm driving it like flying around. It was not so funny for him. But it also gave me, it also made me aware that he had confidence in me. So as a 7-year-old, he actually had a lot of confidence in me and my abilities. So it was actually a really
that's a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it was a real great learning experience for me as well. In that, yeah, I could do it, and he believed that I could do the hard things. And I think that was such a great thing for me to be aware of as a little child, definitely.
All right. Well, do you have like a website or a social media for my listeners that want to follow you?
Yes. So I have a website, which is www.empoweredwithsally.com.au. I'm also on LinkedIn as Sally Pymer and also Facebook, Empowered with Sally, and Instagram. So I have quite a few. Spread the message. Yes.
All right. Well, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
Probably related to this, Tiberius, is what makes you smile?
Well, what makes you smile?
Oh, what makes me smile is seeing other people smile and enjoying life and following their own journey rather than someone else's. So it's, people being real with themselves, being authentic and not being scared to show who they truly are. And in doing that, often their smiles just come naturally. So I love seeing other people in their element doing what they love, definitely.
Well, thank you, Sally, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I would love to stick around for Math Corners. I love math. Thank you, Tiberius.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, Sally, for helping me with Math Corners. And this week, we're exploring multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, since we're talking about smiling and, helping people connect, I thought that we could do something like that. All right?
That sounds good.
So, there are 30 people in a room. Each person smiles at every other person one time. How many total smiles happen if every person only smiles one time each to each other?
Look, so there's 30 people. So that must be me plus 29 other people. So that means, so is that 30 times 29? So what's that?
Well, I'll stop you right there because that's not how you get the answer, nor is it the correct one.
Oh,
So you know what? I think
Oh.
I'll just do that one for you. All right?
okay. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Well, first, this is a real-world problem because when people are in a group, small actions like smiling can, spread to everyone, and it adds up really, really, really fast. So first, we need to think about how many people each person smiles at. If there are 30 people, one person will smile at the other 29 people. So it seems like we just do 30 times 29 like you tried doing. And 30 times 29 is 870. But wait, we have to be careful. Because if I smile at you and you smile at me, we don't want to count that twice. So to fix that, we divide it by 2. So 870 divided by 2 equals 435. So there is 435 total smiles in the room. So that's just awesome.
That's amazing. I love that question. That's such a good one. I hadn't thought of that one, so thank you. How powerful.
Well, you're welcome. Well, so
Amazing.
just 30 people in a room can create 435, positive smiling moments just by smiling at each other. And that's a lot of connections being made. But wait, in the real world, those smiles might lead to conversations, friendships, and even more kindness spreading. So, you know what? I think I really like this kind of math.
Yeah, definitely. I love that kind of math too. That's really quite powerful and a lot of smiles. Such a great question.
So, Sally, when you talk about connection, do you ever think about how quickly something like a smile can multiply like this?
I do. And I actually did a bit of a maths question myself. Well, kind of. So what I did was, so for instance, if I smile at 5 people today, and then those 5 people smile at 5 people tomorrow. So we've got 5 people smiling today. Tomorrow we've got 5 times 5, 25.
25.
And then we've got those people smiling to 5 more the next day.
125.
Yep. So I worked it out that in 15 days, we would have everybody in the whole world having smiled from that original one smile.
I think so, because that's just 5 to the 15th power, right? Using
It could
exponents?
be, yes. Yeah. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times.
So it goes
Yeah,
5,
definitely.
25, 125, 625, about 3,000, then that would be 15,000, then more complicated numbers that I don't want to do. But
Yeah. It would be,
yeah.
but to think from that, like that original one smile, can actually the power of that one smile can have everyone in the whole world having caught that smile in 15 days. And I think that's 8 billion people or something like that. So that's pretty
Yeah.
powerful, I think.
All right, well,
Definitely.
thank you so much, Sally, for your help with Math Corners.
Thanks, Tiberius.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living with the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. Well, this week, we're going to talk about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right, even when no one else is looking. The qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. So, the other day, I was at McDonald's, since, I was hungry. And it was really, really busy. There were people waiting in line, families ordering food, and workers moving really, really fast trying to keep up. While I was sitting down with my food, I noticed a kid about my age looking at their tray. They had ordered a meal, and it was his family, and but somehow they got an extra burger that they just didn't pay for. They looked around for a second, and honestly, they could have just kept it. No one probably would have noticed, but one probably, instead, they picked up the extra burger and walked right up to the counter. They told the employee that they had given an extra one by mistake. The employee looked surprised and thanked him for, returning the burger. The kid didn't make a big deal about it, and they didn't do it for attention. They just knew it was the right thing to do. Later, the employee came back with the burger and told him that he could have it since they couldn't return food that had already left the counter. But this was a nice surprise, and what stood out to me was that they didn't have to do that. No one told them to. They just chose to be honest and do what was right. That's integrity, being truthful, doing the right thing, and showing strong character even when it would be easier not to. So, Sally, do you have an example of integrity that you saw this week?
I was at the gym the other day. So I go to the gym, and sometimes we have an instructor at the front to do a class. And this particular this was a few days ago, the instructor didn't turn up. But there also is the option of putting a class on a screen. So you just watch like a big TV screen. So I saw there was a lady there, and she'd already put this class on, but there was no one else around. And she was really wanted to do that class, really happy to do it. But then she saw some other people walking into the room, and she turned around and said, look, I've got this class on, but it's okay. You've all turned up. I'll turn the class off, and we'll actually put another class on that we all want to do, not one that I just want to do. So she turned the class off, and then all of a sudden there were about 15 other people came into the room, put on a class that everybody wanted to do, just not one. And this lady was quite new to the gym. At the end of that session, one of the other participants said, we've got a group page on social media. Would you like to join in? And next time we'll let you know what's going, and you can come out for coffee later on. So that's probably one example. Not quite a strong example, but that's something that I saw this week. So it worked out.
We should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Yes, definitely.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Sally Pymer for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about your work as a chief smile provider and the message that you're sharing with the world about being real.
Thank you so much for having me, Tiberius. This has been heaps of fun. I've learned about math. I've learned about smiling at girls. I've learned so much. So thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, you didn't have to bring it back up, but you know what? Do you mind giving your social media and website again?
Yeah, so it's www.empoweredwithsally.com.au, and I'm on LinkedIn with Sally Pymer, and also Instagram and Facebook, Empowered with Sally.
And well, also you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, K1998, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air my show. And please, be sure to visit Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. And Sally, are you subscribed yet?
I am, Tiberius. I am subscribed.
All right. Well, this week, King Kong Wrong 5061 says ASL is a skill I'm looking to learn soon. On a related note, a couple years ago, I worked with a couple ASL interpreters for a Fortnite tournament for disabled gamers. It was fascinating watching them work. I'd love to learn the signs for all the Fortnite callouts. Well, thanks, King Kong, for watching the show, and I'm sure that the signs for Fortnite calls had to be amazing. And also, be sure to leave a comment on my videos, viewers, and I might even mention yours at the end of the show. And also, be sure to visit us next on the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy. And that's a wrap.